Hi folks. Well, here's a quick and easy project for you for a little item that can be very handy. It's a black sand magnet for removing the black sand out of your concentrates, and it's a very easy little project to make. You'll need a piece of 3/4 inch PVC tubing. I decided to make this one about 6 inches long, so I cut the tubing at 4 3/4 inches. You will need 2 caps. The one cap you'll need to drill a 1/4 inch hole through the center of it. You'll need a 6-inch hex head bolt and a 2-inch spring of some sort that will fit on the shaft of the bolt, and also 2 nuts to fit on the bolt and a rare earth magnet. Now you can buy these at Home Depot, Amazon, wherever, many places. Okay, to start with, we'll thread the spring onto the bolt, like so. Then we will put the cap on. And thread the bolts on, and you'll need to tighten these up. Now you'll want these to where there'll be a slight indentation there on the bolt there, so this is flush. Now you can just put the rare earth magnet on the end of it like that. Slip it down through the tube. Also, you'll want about a 1/2 inch, about a 1/2 inch extended down. When you press the spring all the way down, you'll want this to come out about a 1/2 inch. That will allow it to go inside the dome on the cap. Okay, and you put the cap on. There you go. Okay, to use this, we have a little sand with some black sand in it. Drop it off. Now you may have to run this through several times to eliminate all of the black sand. Now, if you get something like that wants to creep up, you just press down on the button and release it, and pop. So there you go. Very handy. Now, if you are running your sluice and it starts filling up with the black sand, Then you can also use this to go in and clean that out where it won't be plugging up your mat. If you don't wish to have to deal with the black sands when you're running your miller table or even panning your concentrates, it's very simple to just go in there and remove them there with one of these little magnets, and then you don't have to deal with them. Well, this is a black sand probe that I made for reaching into areas that's a little tough to get to. Say, like if I want to test a rock out into the stream or something like that, I can stick this out there and kind of dig around in the sand under the rock and see if I get any black sand out of it, so I'll know whether or not it's worth to go after. The magnets are just a stack of rare earth magnets, and I have some regular on here as well to add to the power to it. But all they do is slip down inside the tube like that, and you put the cap on. On the other end, I'm going to put a small screw through here, because to shake loose the sand, you tip it up and shake it hard, or you give it a quick bounce like that. And sometimes the magnets hitting the end of the cap will knock the end of the cap off, and you lose your magnets in the water. Don't ask me how I know. Well, to test this out into the field, I'm going to use some of these old buckets I've got of material sitting around all winter. They're kind of grungy looking, but I think they'll do for a quick test here to show you how this can work. Well, as you know, usually gold is in the presence of black sand. So I find that depending on the amount of black sand means that you may or may not have gold. If you have no black sand, you have no gold usually. To test some material on dry land or in the stream, I usually take and stir the sand up quite a bit with a probe here and check it for black sand. If you get it looking like this, then I'd say it's a good place to start collecting material. After you get through checking the black sand off there, you just bounce the magnets down to the opposite end, wash off your probe, and you tip it back down again and make another sample. So here you see all four of my magnets. This first one here is a 1/2 inch, and I'm using just a little 1/2 inch magnets for it. The rest of them are 3/4 inch PVC, and I use the 3/4 inch magnets in them. One of the things that's nice about these is you can break the magnets off and customize it to the power that you need. Now in these, all I need is one magnet in there for them to work. In the longer probe, or if I want to get more power out of the hand magnets, then I can use the entire set in there to give them more power. And if you are testing soils out in the field, then that will give you the maximum amount of power to find out if there's any black sand within the soil there. This is my 1/2 inch magnet, and as you can see here how it's constructed, just a couple of nuts on the end, and the magnets will stick to it. I cut the end off from a piece of PVC tubing, one of the caps, like this, and just glued the tip on there and smoothed it down to give me a little more of a streamlined tip. Well, for those who are interested in building one of these or using one, I hope this little tutorial will help you. I think that you will find that these things are a very handy addition to the old prospecting tools. Thank you for watching. Bye now.